What's going on, y'all? So I'm actually working on a series that focuses on record labels in New Orleans. This first video is kind of an introduction video, and it's going to link you to a lot of other videos once I put them out, talking about the different labels in New Orleans, things that they've done, and how they impacted the national music scene. So check this first video out. I want to really know how y'all feel about it, how y'all feel about the ranking. Do y'all think that I overlooked anyone? Do y'all think that anyone else deserves the #1 spot? Let me know what y'all think, because this is opinionated. This is not fact. This is how I feel, and I want to know how y'all feel, so let me know. Newtral Groundz presents the top 5 record labels to ever come out of New Orleans. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. So the first label that I'm going to go into is Jet Life Recordings. And Jet Life is an American hip-hop collective formed in New Orleans, Louisiana, originally consisting of rappers Currency, Trademark the Skydiver, and Young Roddy. All members of the Jet Life collective are signed to Jet Life Recordings under Warner Brothers Records, which is owned and operated by Currency. If you don't know Currency, he's a rapper that's rapped with No Limit. He's rapped with Cash Money. He is basically the middle child, in my opinion. He connects old New Orleans and new New Orleans. So if you ask me, Currency is kind of like the bridge that connects the two. The reason why I think Jet Life deserves this #5 spot is because they're doing things that labels in New Orleans haven't done since the 90s and the 2000s. They inked the distribution deal with Warner Brothers, and basically they're just all for progression of the music of New Orleans. They're not too much focused on getting things that are not locally New Orleans. And you really respect it about Jet Life. A lot of the old label CEOs that I'm going to be going into further down the line in this video, a lot of them left New Orleans and a lot of them didn't come back. One thing that I respect about Currency and the Jets is that they value New Orleans and they value putting New Orleans on the world stage. So Jet Life, #5, shout out Currency, shout out Musa. Y'all be doing y'all thing. Now for #4 on my list, this is a label that I'm sure a lot of y'all probably haven't heard of, but they made a real big impact on New Orleans right before the No Limit and Cash Money eras, and that's Big Boy Records. Big Boy Records, also known as the Boot Camp Clique, was an independent record label established in 1992 by Charles Big Boy Temple and its producer Leroy Precise Edwards. The reason why I like Big Boy is because they was on it before nobody else was. The first person they signed was Sporty T, a person who had previously been a founding member of the Ninja Crew, New Orleans' first rap group to record. In the early 1990s, inspired by hits by Juvenile and Everlasting Hitman's bounce hits, he moved in that direction as well. The label's first single was Sporty Talkin' Sporty. Though bounce, it had an uncharacteristically heavy sound for the genre. But they signed Mystical first, and they're actually responsible for giving Mystical the wave that took him to the No Limit success that he saw. So Big Boy Records gets a lot of stripes for being the first to do it, for being a big label. They were handling their businesses right, like they had things moving smoothly and up to business standards. Now #3 is, and people might have, their conflicting feelings about this on the #4 and #3 slot, but #3 is Take 4. Now, if you haven't heard of Take 4 Records, Take 4 Records is an independent record label from New Orleans specializing in bounce music. So Take 4 is actually a bounce only label, and they're also responsible for bringing us iconic names like DJ Jubilee. And if you don't know who DJ Jubilee is, then you might as well stop watching the video right now. But Take 4 was an independent record label from New Orleans specializing in bounce music. The label was founded in 1992 and was operated by the creative duo Earl J. Mackey and Henry F. Holden. Until Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans in 2005, Take 4 Records was on the up and up. Prior to creating a record label, the duo teamed up to produce a cable access television program called Positive Black Talk, due to the need for positive African American leadership in New Orleans. After holding a fundraiser concert for the program, Mackey and Holden became intrigued by the music scene, and they decided to put together a girl group called Dasha Ra. The newly formed group was created to make young people aware of the TV program. When they first started their organization, they didn't have any intentions on getting into music. They wanted it to all be for TV, but it wasn't until they saw how music impacted the city that they decided to go forward with that. And their big break came during a Walter L. Cohen High School dance when they met DJ Jubilee, something that I'm actually going to go into more detail about when I drop the Take 4 history video. So let's be honest, Take 4 did a lot for New Orleans. They pioneered the bounce sound. It's a lot of things that people don't really realize when it comes to bounce music, and a lot of history that goes often overlooked because of the lack of documentation available. But Take 4 was pivotal in creating and moving the New Orleans bounce sound and turning it into what it is today. So that's why they get the #3 spot. Now #2, who y'all think I'm gonna take for #2? No Limit Records. Why am I saying No Limit Records for number 2 on the top labels to ever come out of New Orleans? The reason why I'm saying No Limit Records is number 2 is because of the longevity. No Limit Records is actually not active at the moment. No Limit was a big label to come out of New Orleans. People argue that it was the biggest label. They had the biggest roster. They had a lot of hits, and it happened really early on in the game. No Limit Records was an American record label founded by rapper, entrepreneur, and CEO Percy Master P. Miller. The label's albums were distributed by Priority Records, Universal Music Group, and Coach Records. The label included artists such as Snoop Dogg, Mercedes, Silk the Shocker, Mystical, Mia X, Mac, C Murder, Magic, Romeo Miller, Fiend, Cain and Abel, Soulja Slim. They had a roster that was unmatched. Master P was a master at bringing people together and getting people under one roof for one common goal. The one thing that I respect the most about Master P is he knew how to move his chess pieces. He knew that he was a chess player and he had to make the moves at the end of the day. He also knew about putting people in their right roles, the roles needed in order to make No Limit brand become what it is today. But Master P gets a ton of respect from me. No Limit Records, y'all number 2. I'm gonna go into a lot of detail about No Limit in my No Limit video, but I'm gonna hold off on it for the sake of time for this video. But No Limit Records number 2, and by then you should already know who my number 1 is. My number 1 is Cash Money Records. The main reason that they got number 1 over No Limit, I just said it earlier, was because of longevity. Cash Money is still active. They still going platinum. They still doing worldwide tours. They're still doing it. And you have to respect that, because all of these labels during the time the Cash Money got founded, like the Death Row, Rockefeller, all of these labels are non-existent. No Limit Records, these labels are not active anymore. So it seems like Cash Money is the lone wolf and the last man standing when it comes to this. Cash Money lasted, and you have to give credibility where credibility is due. You have people like Jacquees going platinum, and that's through the Cash Money pipeline. Cash Money just got another deal and got another big check to do the same thing that they did 20 years ago, meaning that they kept positive business relations. There was a lot of hiccups along the way, and we know Birdman had a lot of things going on, but Cash Money stood the test of time. Salute to Ronald Slim Williams, who I'm sure is one of the primary people responsible for ensuring the longevity of Cash Money, and salute to Lil Wayne, the person who put Cash Money on a worldwide stage to give them the leverage needed to attract other attractive artists to keep things moving. So that's my top 5: Jet Life, Big Boy, Take 4, No Limit, and Cash Money. What's y'all order? I want to really know who y'all feel deserves the top spot for record labels in New Orleans, and why. Is there any label in here that y'all didn't agree with? Anybody that I forgot? Anybody that I overlooked? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate y'all, and take care.